Have you ever felt there's some secret to making Danish friends that no one's ever told you? If so, you're not alone. In this clip, we talk about strategies for how to break into Danish friendships. There may not be one answer to the secret, but assuming you're a nice person, we've got plenty of tips that can help you. So I thought it would be interesting to talk about some strategies. What I found really useful is I've been able to get some introductions to people who, a friend of a friend who can vouch for me to not be a weirdo. So they basically...
You freak.
Yeah. So I basically said to my friends, hi guys, but just, I'm moving to Copenhagen. Do you know anyone who's quite cool who lives there? And a few of my friends were, oh yeah, I know someone. And they kind of put me in touch. Being able to have somebody, a common friend, introduce you to get you to that stage has been really useful to sort of get over that first step. There is a website called howtoliveindenmark.com by an American lady who's been here for 20 years. And her number one tip is find Danes who didn't grow up in the city that you moved to. So if you are moving to Aarhus, find people who didn't grow up in Aarhus.
You want people from Copenhagen if you go to Aarhus, which is in West Denmark in Jutland. Mm-hmm. And if you go to Copenhagen, you need to find all of the people from Fyn and from Jutland in that city.
All the non-Copenhagen, because the Copenhageners will likely still have their friends and family relationships, which I'll have to go to. So I thought that was a really good one.
I think it's worth engaging with the other expats while you slowly merge into Danish culture. It's probably what's going to keep you sane. And then look for the Danes who've lived abroad, because they always make much more of an effort inviting people in. And I certainly do that myself, because I'm also aware that it can be really difficult when you come from abroad. And I have been so lucky to enjoy the hospitality of all of the wonderful people I've met abroad. And without them, I don't know how I would have enjoyed being abroad for so many years, because they have been incredible. They've invited me along to so many special occasions. They are some of my most important friends.
Mm-hmm. Right. And I think when somebody has had that experience living abroad, there's almost that empathy of, okay, well, I don't know this guy that well, but he seems all right. Maybe I'll do this slightly non-Danish thing of inviting him for beers with a few of these other friends that I'm meeting so that he can meet them too. Or maybe we are doing this trip, or we were going kayaking. Oh, let's maybe bring Sam along as well. And it won't necessarily feel natural, but it's a way which will, help other people.
The other thing I think works quite well, organizing some things yourself and inviting any Danes you might know. It could be a wine tasting. Danes love wine. It could be a meal from your home country. So you organize and invite some of the maybe Danish acquaintances or someone you know, not very well, but that you've met somewhere, invite them. And the moment you've invited them into your space, I bet you that most Danes, they would really like to invite you back. It might take 3 months because of their diary. So don't, be offended by that, because it's just fitting people in. And it really is difficult when you get into that whole Danish way, where your diary is completely full and you try to have a little bit of breathing space, but it's difficult to find room for those quick and spontaneous engagements.
Is it basically, when it comes to the calendar, you just need to play the game? And you just need to be, if somebody comes back and says, look, let's meet up in 2 months, you just need to accept, okay, this is not them buffing me off. They still might like me, but it's just the practicalities of the calendar.
It's probably a huge compliment, because, they probably pushed you in between a lot of engagements, and otherwise you would have had to wait for half a year.
Yes. If you haven't already, you might enjoy listening to part 1, where we talk about the theory behind why, in general, Danes like to keep a small number of close friends, and what this can feel like for non-Danes. Danish culture can be pretty confusing, especially if you're not from Denmark. Each week, our podcast takes a curious look at everyday behaviours in Denmark and speaks to experts to understand why these things can be puzzling to non-Danes. If you've ever been curious about how to live in one of the happiest countries in the world, then grab a seat and get comfortable. It's going to be hyggelig. I'm Sam, a non-Dane in Denmark, and with me is Josephine, a Dane giving the inside view of the country. Join us on our journey by listening to the full episodes for free wherever you listen to your podcasts, or head over to whatthedenmark.com.